Hello, my name is Jiso, and I'm reading Master Dōgen Shōbōgenzō, and we are near the end of chapter 79, is that right? 79, Ango, the Retreat, paragraph 192. At the end of the summer retreat, on the 13th day of the 7th lunar month, the service of tea and cakes and the reciting of sutras in the common quarters is again the responsibility of the dormitory chief for that month. Mindful recitation on the evening of the 14th and formal preaching in the Dharma hall, personal salutations, the round of the quarters, and the service of tea and cakes on the following day are all the same as at the beginning of the retreat. Only the wording of the notices is different. The notice on the kitchen hall officers' service of tea says, "The kitchen hall officers this evening will serve tea and cakes in the cloud hall, especially for the head monk and all the monks. We humbly announce this celebration of the end of the retreat, and we respectfully hope that all the monks will kindly bestow upon us your illuminating presence. The bhikshus of the kitchen hall so-and-so expressed with respect." The words for the mindful recitation at the local deities hall are as follows. We sincerely reflect that a golden wind is fanning the countryside and the god of autumn is governing all directions. It is the time when the king of realization dissolves the retreat. This is the day of completion of the Dharma year. For 90 days there have been no difficulties and all the monks are at peace. We recite the vast names of the Buddhas and respectfully thank the true rulers of all the temple beings. I respectfully request the assembly to recite. After this is the same as the mindful recitation at the beginning of the retreat. After the formal preaching in the Dharma hall, the main officers say the following words of thanks. We humbly rejoice that the Dharma year is complete and there have not been any difficulties. This is likely due to the protection of the Master's Dharma power. As humble, sentient beings, we are unable to contain our extreme gratitude. The abbot's words of thanks are as follows. Now the Dharma year is complete, and we thank Chief Officer and Head Monk so-and-so for sharing the benefit of their Dharma power. I cannot contain my extreme gratitude. The monks of the hall, from the head monk down and the monk of the dormitories from the dormitory chief down, say the following words of thanks. For the 90 days of the summer retreat we have relied upon each other. My behaviour of body, speech and mind have not been good, and I have disturbed the assembly. Humbly I beg for compassion. Oh dear, disturbed the assembly. The main officers and the assistant officers make the following announcement. I'm kind of running out of voices. Let's do South London. Brothers in the assembly who are going to travel on should wait until after the service of tea, and then you may leave as you please. If there is some exigency, this limitation does not apply. This custom is more fundamental than the ages before and after King Majestic Sound. Buddhist patriarchs attach importance to only this. Non-Buddhists and heavenly demons never disturb only this. Throughout the 3 countries, India, Japan, China, not a single descendant of the Buddhist patriarch ever fails to practice it, but non-Buddhists never learn it. It is the Buddhist patriarch's one great original hope. Therefore, from the morning of attainment of the truth until the evening of nirvana, he proclaims only the meaning of the retreat. Although there are differences among the 5 schools of monks in India, they are all the same in guarding and retaining the 90-day summer retreat, which they practice and experience without fail. Not one of the 9 sects of monks in China violates the summer retreat. Those who have never lived in their life practice the 90-day summer retreat. Those who have never in their life practiced the 90-day summer retreat should not be called bhikshus who are the disciples of Buddha. It is not only to practice in the causal state, it is practice and experience of the realized state. The all-enlightened, world-honored one, indeed, has practiced and experienced it through his whole life, without missing a single summer. Remember, it is the Buddha's experience in the realized state. A person who, nevertheless, does not practice and experience the 90-day summer retreat and yet says, "I may be a descendant of the Buddhist patriarch," is laughable and is a stupid person, unworthy of laughter. Laughable, but he's unworthy of laughter. Do not sit with them. Do not walk with them on the same path. For in the Buddha Dharma, we treat evil people through the method of silence. That's a great strategy. If I forget everything else in this chapter, we treat evil people through the method of silence. Silence, Bondan, representing the Sanskrit Brahma Danda, which literally means pure rod. This was a form of punishment in which the other members of a Buddhist order did not talk to a member of the order who had committed a sin. God, imagine that. We must just understand and maintain and rely upon the 90-day summer retreat as the Buddhist patriarch himself. Its authentic transmission extends from the 7 Buddhas to Maya Kasyapa, and 28 patriarchs in India have authentically transmitted it from rightful successor to rightful successor. The 28th patriarch personally manifested himself in China and caused Great Master Taiso Shoshu Fugaku, the 2nd patriarch, to receive its authentic transmission. Since the 2nd patriarch, it has been authentically transmitted from rightful successor to rightful successor, and it has been authentically transmitted to the present day. Having gone into China in the order of Buddhist patriarch, in the order of a Buddhist patriarch, I directly received its authentic transmission, and I am performing its authentic transmission in Japan. Now that we have actually practiced the 90-day summer sitting in an order to which it has been authentically transmitted, we have received the authentic transmission of the Dharma of summer. To have practiced the retreat, living together with this person may be the true retreat. This person suggests Master Dōgen himself, and at the same time each individual person. The retreat really has been transmitted in face-to-face transmission from rightful successor to rightful successor since the retreat of the Buddha's lifetime. Therefore, we have directly received the authentic transmission of the face of the Buddha and the face of the patriarchs, and we have immediately experienced the body and mind of the Buddhist patriarchs. For this reason, it is said that to meet the retreat is to meet Buddha, to experience the retreat is to experience Buddha, to practice the retreat is to practice Buddha, to hear the retreat is to hear Buddha, and to learn the retreat is to learn Buddha. In sum, that the Buddhas and the patriarchs never go against or go beyond the 90-day retreat is the Dharma. This being so, human kings, King Shakra, King Brahma, and so on, should become bhikshus and even if only for one summer, practice the retreat. This will be to meet Buddha. Human beings, celestial beings, and dragons, even if only for one period of 90 days, should become bhikshus and bhikshunis and practice the retreat. This will be to meet Buddha at once. To have joined the order of a Buddhist patriarch and practiced the 90-day retreat is to have met Buddha already. That, fortunately, before our present dewdrop life has fallen, we have already practiced a summer retreat, whether in heaven above or in the human world, is to have had our own skin, flesh, bones and marrow replaced by the skin, flesh, bones and marrow of the Buddhist patriarchs. Because the Buddhist patriarchs come and practice the retreat through us, each person's practice of the retreat is the retreat's practice of each person. Well, this being so, we have experienced the retreat. We who have experienced the retreat are simply called 1,000 Buddhas and myriad patriarchs. The reason, if asked, is that the retreat is the very skin, flesh, bones and marrow, mind and body of the Buddhist patriarchs. It is their brains and eyes. It is their fists and nostrils. It is their round form and Buddha nature. It is a fly whisk and staff. It is a bamboo stick and a round cushion. The summer retreat is not the production of something new, and at the same time it is not the repeated use of something old. The World-Honoured One addresses Bodhisattva round realization. Round form and Buddha nature, by the way, allude to a story about Master Nagarjuna, quoted in chapter 22 in Busho, and a Master round realization is a Bodhisattva who appears in Engaku Kyo, the Sutra of Round Realization. The sutra is thought to have been written in China. So, the World-Honoured One addresses Bodhisattva round realization, the great assembly of monks and all living beings. This is a long quote. If you practice the retreat for 3 months from the beginning of summer, you will abide in the pure state of a Bodhisattva. Your mind will leave the state of a Shravaka, and you will be beyond dependence on others. When the day of the retreat arrives, say before the Buddha the following words: in order that I, Bhikshu, Bhikshuni, Upasaka, Upasika, so-and-so, who ride upon the Bodhisattva vehicle, may perform tranquil practice, that I may harmoniously enter, dwell in, and maintain the pure real form, that I may make the great round realization into my temple, the body and mind may practice the retreat, and that the wisdom whose nature is balance, and the peaceful natural state of self may be without hindrances. I now respectfully ask, without relying on the state of a Shravaka, to practice the 3-month retreat together with the Tathagatas of the 10 directions and the great Bodhisattvas. By virtue of enacting the great causes of the supreme and fine truth of the Bodhisattva, I will not be involved with others. Good sons, this is called the Bodhisattva's manifestation of the retreat. Thus, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasikas, whenever they arrive at the 3 months of the retreat, inevitably enact the great causes of the supreme and fine truth together with the Tathagatas of the 10 directions and the great Bodhisattvas. Remember, upasikas and upasakas and upasikas also should practice the retreat. This place of the retreat is the great round realization. That being so, Vulture Peak and Jetavana Park are both temples of the great round realization of the Tathagata. We should listen to the World-Honoured One's teaching that the Tathagatas of the 10 directions and the great Bodhisattvas all experience together 3 months of training in the retreat. The World-Honoured One, this goes on. The World-Honoured One practices a 90-day retreat at one place. On the day of indulgence, the day on which the restrictions of the summer retreat end. On this day, practitioners confess to each other the mistakes they have made during the retreat and ask to be forgiven. On the day of indulgence, Manjusri suddenly appears in the order. Mayakassiyapa asks Manjusri, "This summer, where have you practiced the retreat?" Manjusri says, "This summer I have practiced the retreat at 3 places." At this, Mahakassiyapa assembles the monks. He is about to expel Manjusri by striking the block, the octagonal wooden block about 3 foot high with a sui, a small wooden clapper. But just as he lifts the clapper, he sees countless Buddha lands appear. At the place of every Buddha, there is a Manjusri, and there is a Mahakassiyapa lifting the clapper to expel Manjusri. The World-Honoured One thereupon addresses Mahakassiyapa. "Which Manjusri are you now going to expel?" Then Mahakassiyapa is dumbfounded. Quoted from the Great Square and Wide Treasure Chest Sutra. Zen master Ango, in a discussion of the ancients, says, "A bell not struck does not ring, a drum not hit does not sound. Mahakasyapa is moored in the main harbour. Manjusri instantly sits away the 10 directions. At the present moment, there is a lovely scene of a Buddhist event. How regrettable to miss a move! As old Master Shakyamuni said, which Manjusri are you going to expel? If Mahakasyapa had immediately given the block a crack, imagine what kind of total solution would the other have performed." The other is the Buddha. Total solution is the total killing suggests a complete solution or the perfect restoring of tranquility. Good. Zen master Ango, in a eulogy to the ancients, says, "A big elephant does not play on a rabbit's path. What do swallows and sparrows know of swans and storks? Obeying the rules is just like creating a style. Breaking the standard is just like biting a flying arrow. The whole world is Manjusri, the whole world is Mahakasyapa. Facing one another, each is in the solemn state. What is there to punish by lifting the clapper? It is a nice instance of needlework. The golden dutas have gotten rid of all obstacles." There are a lot of footnotes on that, but I'm just going to keep going. So the world-honoured one practices the retreat at one place, and Manjusri practices the retreat at 3 places, but neither ever fails to practice the retreat. One who does not practice the retreat is neither a Buddha nor a Bodhisattva. There is no example of a descendant of the Buddhist patriarch failing to practice the retreat. We should recognize those who practice the retreat as the descendants of the Buddhist patriarch. That which practices the retreat is the Buddhist patriarch's body and mind, the Buddhist patriarch's eyes, and the Buddhist patriarch's very life. Those who do not practice the retreat are not the descendants of the Buddhist patriarch and are not Buddhist patriarchs. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the present, whether of soil or wood, of white silk or gold, or of the 7 treasures, should all practice a summer sitting for 3 months in retreat. This is the ancient tradition of abiding in and maintaining the treasures of Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, and it is the Buddha's instruction. In conclusion, people in the house of the Buddhist patriarch decidedly must practice the summer sitting in retreat for 3 months. Shōbōgenzō Ango preached to the assembly at Daibutsu-ji Temple in Fukui Prefecture on the 13th day of the 6th lunar month during the summer retreat in the 3rd year of Kengen 1245. Well, that was good. We are on to chapter 80 next, and just a reminder that there are only 95 chapters. So, 16 chapters left. That's exciting. We will not finish it in June, I think, but in July, mid-July. There's a thought. Thanks for listening. Take care.